I think there's three reasons why we're not going to get disclosure from the government. One, because they've been covering us up for so long, they're going to look like fools when they finally say, "Yeah, we have something." Or two, they don't. It's actually true, and they don't believe we can handle it, and it's going to cause chaos in the in the global community. I don't know. And number three, which I think is the probable one, money, money, money. Let's start with number one. What would happen if all of us they say, "Oh yeah, we knew all along"? By the way, my name is Chris. I had a stroke, and now I love aliens. Let's continue.
The Strokeonaut. Finding the truth.
Number one, all the people they mocked. They're going to have to answer for all the people that pilots and police officers, civilians, over the years that they mocked, made fun of, ridiculed. They're all going to have to answer for that. Plus, here's another one. They'd have to answer for all the careers they destroyed. Probably not as recent because I don't think they do it anymore, but from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, probably even in the 90s, how many pilots or professionals' careers were destroyed because they said they saw a UFO or an alien that were just treated like crap, especially the bad people. You know who you are. How about all the evidence that was seized? Radar tapes, films that was collected for national security. It was probably taken away from people illegally. Who's answering for that? Was the chain of custody intentionally broken so they couldn't trace back where they got the evidence from? That's illegal. So who's answering for that? Was Congress and the public lied to? Well, if they really knew about this, yeah. Who's responsible for that? Who's going to pay the price? That's what they're probably worried about. Not to mention, then all the lawsuits happen. The criminal liability, civil lawsuits, congressional investigation, who's responsible, who knew what, when they knew it, what they did about it, who they didn't tell, who they lied from. Goes on and on and on. You open up a can of worms. I don't think anybody is going to say, "Oh yeah, we'll disclose it." Not going to happen. Just for those simple reasons. Depending on political parties in power, it's going to be a witch hunt. It'll be hearings on TV. It'll be nuts. That's why I don't think that's one of the reasons I think it's never going to happen. And what about abductions? If that is truly really going on and they knew about it and they've been hiding it for 70 years, that's the biggest problem they're going to have. Is that they come out and say, "Yeah, we knew about it and we had an agreement and they didn't follow the agreement," or whatever. How are you going to come out and say that? It's impossible that they wouldn't let them take them, people, Americans. Although, if they're that powerful, you couldn't really stop them. But if it ever comes out that they had an agreement that we're letting them take them so we could get some secret technology, that's not going to do well. Let's just keep the secret going for as long as we can and kind of slowly release things so we can and then they can go back and destroy all the records of what they did and what they didn't do, so the people that are in power now can wipe the slate clean. So when it eventually does, if it does come out, not by then, by somewhere else, they can say, "Oh yeah, go search the records. We didn't do anything wrong." I think that's what they're doing. They're in the scrubbing phase, scrubbing everything clean. So when it does come out not from the government, from somebody else that really has evidence, the shit's gonna hit the fan, and that's all they give a shit about is covering their own asses. That's what I think. My opinion. Okay, let's move on to number two. They think we can't handle the truth. You know, in the movie A Few Good Men, you can't handle the truth. That's what they think. That's my number two reason. So number two has several points. I'm going to be looking. So if you see me looking down, because I'm looking at my notes on the screen. Like I said, I don't do scripts on here. I just go off the cuff. But I need to do bullet points written on the screen because I'll forget what I was talking about. So one of the first points is it's not about panic. They don't think people are going to panic. What they fear is that they're going to lose control of the story. And like we see recently in the shootings at Brown University and all the stuff going on. When the internet gets a hold on it and there's a slight little vacuum, it goes crazy. All kinds of conspiracy theories and a lot of it's nonsense happen, and that's what they're afraid of. They won't be seen as the authority, and then everybody and their mother will be putting stuff out there, and it'll be a giant shit show. That's what they're afraid of. They don't think people are gonna go crazy. They're just gonna think, well, you're gonna have all these theories out there, and they're not gonna be able to control the narrative and make you believe what they want you to believe. That's what they're afraid of, not about panic. Okay, another point is it'll be psychologically destabilizing. Some people just won't handle it. They go insane. They won't ask, are the aliens real? And then are they controlling our minds? And destiny's not ours. And it just opens up another massive can of worms in the part. If you can't handle the truth, then it'd be like, you just, people might, not everyone, but some people are just gonna, they think people are just gonna go crazy nuts and just which some people probably would. You just see them on the internet and their comments they post. So they're probably right. They're probably right about this one. I don't disagree with that. Some people, but I think the majority will be fine. But some people are just gonna go absolutely nuts. Now, in that subset are also the people that say that the children can't handle it. It would destroy the children. They wouldn't be able to stand it. Futures would be destroyed. Because they won't be able to cope with reality. And so they're doing this all because the children will probably just go, yeah, okay, well, that makes sense to us. You tell your 5-year-old there's an alien, they probably just go, cool, there's aliens, and I don't think it's really gonna harm the children. Maybe you're 16 or 17, but you're a child, but you're not really a little child. 7 or 8, we tell little kids that there's a guy that comes down in a red suit, puts toys in your room every December 25th. And then when they get older, they find out that's not real, doesn't destroy them. So I don't think the children is valid. The children excuse is valid at all. And then there's the big one, religion. And they're not worried about religion just crashing and burning and dissipating. They're worried about religion morphing, splitting into different segments, because some people believe they're angels. Some say they're demons. Other people say they're ghosts, or they're spirits from the other world or another dimension, and that causes religion and like the Catholic, the Christian, whatever, they will all start splintering into separate religions and become. The problem with that is when they splinter, a lot of times they turn into extremism. That's what they're worried about. You get extremists in here, extremists in this religion, and then you got all a huge group of religions that are all extreme, saying no, they're demons, and when they go after that group because they say they're not demons, they're extra dimensional, and then it just turns into a giant crap show. So that's what they're afraid about religion, not the collapse of religion, the morphing of religion to different extremist pockets, because they don't believe they're demons, they believe they are demons, they're not angels, I believe they're angels, and it just goes into chaos. That's one of the points that they're worried about, in my humble opinion. And the reason I think we're not going to get government disclosure, my number one reason is, like I said in the beginning, money, money, and more money. It's all about the money. Show me the money. $100 bills, y'all. That was weird. So our economy is based off of oil, gas, and coal. And if there's technology out there that they have that they've been hiding that upsets that whole thing, it'll destroy the economy and make all the people with all the money not have all the money. Because if you have energy that's free, that you can just make from the ether and you don't have to distribute it, some kind of, I don't know, comes from dark matter, however the hell you make it, and everybody gets this little device, you put it in your house, you put one in your car, and it powers everything. There's no way to make money off that. Well, maybe to buy the initial thing, maybe, but they want the world, recurring revenue. They want to pay that oil bill every month and that gas bill. They wouldn't make money. So that's probably the prime thing. That's why I say money is the most important, because the people with the money will not be able to make money anymore. That's the issue. Also, if this technology over the last 70, 80 years was doled out to certain companies who made billions, maybe possibly trillions of dollars off it, and other companies weren't, that's an issue, don't you think? Those companies aren't going to want to let that secret out, and they won't have a cash cow anymore. They won't be the only ones that have access to it. So once again, that's why money comes into it. They got the money, they want to control the money, and they'll do everything they can to make sure this doesn't get out, because then that starts the gravy train comes to an end. Once other companies say, wait a minute, you profited on stuff that wasn't offered to us by the government. That goes back to the liability and everything else. So it's just a big can of worms that they don't want to open. And if that energy is free and unending, the whole scarcity thing comes to an end. Oh, we can't raise gas. How they raise gas prices in the summer, in the winter, production is down. We're gonna that's all off the table. All billions and billions and billions of dollars they make with that whole artificial, we're running out of oil crap comes to an end. There's another reason. They just never want this free. If let this get out if there really is technology for all this stuff, because there's no way to make money off it. That's why it always comes down to money. Everything always comes down to money. So those are my top 3 reasons. I mean, there's literally probably hundreds more you can come up with. Another one thing, there could be no disclosure because they don't know anything. They don't have a program. They don't have crash retrievals. All that stuff's made up. Because we don't have anything. We've had people say there is. We have zero evidence of it. So maybe they don't have anything, so there's nothing to disclose because they don't know anything. That's a possibility you can't rule out too. Because we've got all these whistleblowers and everybody else saying they have all this stuff, but we've been shown no proof by anyone, any real proof that you can say 100%. So that's another option too, that they don't know what any of us are talking about. And they go, what are these people talking about? We don't have anything like this. Zero, nada, nothing. So what do you guys think is the reason that government may not disclose? Those are my 3. And maybe that 4th one I gave. But more importantly, not what I think, what you think. Let me know below. Am I all wrong? Am my points all stupid? Am I off base? Because once again, remember I did have a stroke, so who the hell knows? I could be wrong, or you have better ideas, or my ideas are great, or my ideas are stupid. Either way, just let me know. And remember to like and subscribe. And I thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
The Strokeonaut. Finding the truth.
It's really here. Look at it. It's coming down.
Those lights are unbelievable.
I've never seen anything like this in my life. You can feel the air push it. Listen to that hum.
Landing right here?
Yeah, it's setting down. We're watching it touch the ground.
Look at the rings. Wow.
This is real. We're really standing here watching it.
It's quieting down.
The Strokeonaut. Finding the truth.
The truth has no agenda.